is Dobby. This is my mom, Mallory. So today we are going to play a song called You Are My Sunshine. Hope you like it. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away. Bye.
I am Eve, and I am going to share a story about when God helped me through a tough time when I was camping. So, when I went camping with a camp, it was a summer camp for a week. We went away, and I was very sad because my mom and dad and family could not come. So when I was in the tent alone, I prayed to God and knew that God was always with me. So if you ever go on a camping trip or anything like that, you can remember that God is always with you wherever you are, even when you are alone. Goodbye.
Pursuit of wisdom, I find myself with questions. Examples include what to do, like how to proceed in times like these, how to find clarity, how to cope with the situation at large, or even just in my own backyard. Like, can we discuss how hard it is to be an adult Also, did I say I wanted to be in charge? Can I pull a take backsies? But it's happening, whether I like it or not, whether we like it or not. People around us need our care, as well as people and systems out there. And we are all so connected, technologically addicted, oversaturated by information, but also grateful to have it. And I have questions about how to deal with the ambition that comes with wanting to contribute to the collective and not just help, but also add to the beauty, be a part of the wider scheme of things. And the more I think on all these ponderings, the more it makes sense to me that wisdom is needed, that Solomon hoped to achieve it, that when offered divine blessing, he chose it. Could he too have wanted to know how to proceed, find some clarity? I don't know, but I love it. And I love even more that God loved the request, that it was just not a quest for riches or status, but instead a simple knowing that he longed for. Knowing how to cope with the scope of things. It reminds me of the necessity of vulnerability, how it is required to ask even a simple, single question, how questions take courage. Questions take courage. So maybe having them, daring to say them out loud is not weak, but a sign of wisdom, of growth, of faith in what could be. Proverbs 9:6, lay aside immaturity and live and walk in the way of insight. And isn't this right? We don't simply achieve wisdom. We don't arrive. Rather, we build it up in our lives one step at a time. And the kind of strength this takes requires a spiritual bent, divine help, divine presence. I find this deeply comforting. So, at least for now, I think I'll keep asking my questions, though I don't know how or if answers will come. Whatever may be in our pursuit of wisdom, I'll take this mantra with me. Don't shrink, but also don't puff up. Brene Brown said it. She said, whenever I'm faced with a vulnerable situation, I get deliberate with my intentions by repeating this to myself. Don't shrink. Don't puff up. Stand your sacred ground. Don't shrink. Don't puff up. I still remember exactly where I was when I heard this quote. Must have been a dozen years ago. I was on a walk in my old neighborhood near our old house that was new to us then. New house, new city, new job, new, hopefully, community. Either way, the perfect formula for vulnerability, for moments of shrinking and puffing up, which I'm sure I did plenty of as we found our way here, found ourselves here, made a life here. I was walking when I heard that quote a dozen years ago, but it stopped me in my tracks. I remember I had to play it back, insert brain explosion emoji, low key. How long have I been walking into rooms only to immediately puff up or shrink? And now that I know better, can I find it within me to choose my deepest authenticity? Just another question I asked myself way back when, and still find myself often wondering as I ponder the wisdom we're encouraged to tend. But can we talk about wisdom and how it only works if you aren't a jerk when becoming wise about whatever it is you are discovering at the time? What's more, can we please respect the timelines of those around us? Can we have our own epiphanies with some awe and humility? Can we refrain from the temptation to get judgy? It's lame anyway and typical and boring, so maybe don't cave to it. Besides, what use is enlightenment if it's bogged down by puffed up ego? Is it even wisdom if we aren't wise enough to be aware of the ways we cling to it, the ways we make a mask out of it and put it on, thus ensuring no one will ever really see us? Can we stop all this nonsense? I'm not saying don't be confident. That's not what I mean. Don't take this as an opportunity to shrink. After all, we need your voice. We need your particular thoughts. Your discoveries hold the key to the universe. Your authenticity is appreciated, can even satiate parched realities if you let it. I'm only wondering if wisdom might be found somewhere in the balance where we are self-assured enough for the pursuit of it, but self-aware enough to know when we sign up for it, mistakes are inevitable. And we will sometimes die on the mountains of incorrect info. We will get many things wrong, and we will find ourselves again needing to evolve. The spirit assignment, after all, is wisdom. I have a feeling it's movement. I have a feeling it's fluid, and I have a hunch our imperfect journeying is wise, and that we are coming by spiritual resources left and right, even perhaps especially when we don't realize it. In order to do this, maybe we need our truest selves in tow. Shrinking and puffing up aside, shrinking and puffing up, finally rejected, we discover we were standing on sacred ground, all along primed and ready to receive every gift of divinity, our minds, hearts, and bodies, every gift of divinity. But keep in mind, the pursuit of wisdom requires a certain fervor, implying a tenacity that often gets twisted. And yes, while ambition is essential, perhaps it's paradoxical in nature, redefined like how Jesus flipped all kinds of ideas on their heads, making greatness look like goodness, power like tenderness, status like humility, everything pointing toward love, radical love, and our pursuit of wisdom. Maybe we need a similar ambition, which would require our ability to listen. In the midst of all the noise, maybe we need to become seasoned in silence, practitioners of pausing, beers instead of doers, observers of all the sacred things we miss. Is wisdom found in beholding? And learning how to pay attention? Is this way so unique and so rare these days, so unheard of that to follow it makes us trailblazers, innovators, making paths not yet taken, creating new ways of existing, free from influence or comparison, creating inner and communal spaces so true, so authentic we can't help but be primed to listen. Psalm 24 says, seek peace and pursue it. And I'm just saying, but how can we know how to proceed with peace or find clarity? How can we know how to cope with the scope of the situation at large, or even in our own backyards? How can we possibly contribute to the collective, add to the beauty of the wider scheme of things if we don't have some wisdom? And not the kind that the know-it-alls or the powers that be are always trying to embody, but the kind that is the antithesis of everything we usually see, the kind in alignment with the Christ way. Could we cultivate a posture like this? We could do it if we choose it. It would take consistency and care, but we could do it. Ephesians 5:15 says, be careful of how you live, not as unwise, but as wise. And according to John, this is the kind of wisdom that is the bread of life. In this way we can live. We can thrive. Wisdom pulling us on the Christ path. Wisdom compelling us to ask questions. Wisdom developing our spiritual attention. Wisdom making us lovers of beauty in our pursuit of wisdom. May it be so.